Nitroxbuddy can operate with different models of oxygen sensors. More specifically, Nitroxbuddy can work with the following sensors: Analytical Industries PSR-11-39-MD, MaxTech MAX-305 and MAX-305F, Teledyne R-22S, and of course, our own DiveNav Nitrox O2 sensor. If you've already purchased a Nitroxbuddy base or a Nitroxbuddy DIY, then you will need to install the oxygen sensor yourself. If you've already purchased a Nitroxbuddy Complete, then the oxygen sensor is already installed. But sooner or later, you will need to replace it. Let's do it together. First, we need to open the Nitroxbuddy. We remove the 3 screws using a Phillips screwdriver. Then, we carefully open the device and lay the 2 halves next to each other. Now, take the top half with one hand and use the other hand to unseat the oxygen sensor from it. Make sure to not bend too much the wires or you could break them. Now the tricky part. We need to remove the female Molex connector from the sensor. The oxygen sensor is equipped with a 3-pins male Molex connector, while the Nitroxbuddy board has a cable with a female Molex connector. Additionally, the male connector has a latching mechanism that holds in place the female connector. To remove the connector from the oxygen sensor, you need to first disengage this latching mechanism. To do so, first place the sensor on a flat surface face down and hold it with 2 fingers. Then, insert a flathead screwdriver in the space between the female connector and the male one. Then use the screwdriver to bend a little bit the latching mechanism of the male connector, while at the same time using your fingers to pull out the female connector. And voila! The female connector is out. Just make sure you do not pull on the cables as you might break them. Time to put in the new oxygen sensor. But first, we need to adjust the O-rings. Remove the O-ring from the front of the sensor and place it in the back. If you're using a Teledyne sensor, you're ready to go. But if you're using an Analytical Industry sensor, or a MaxTech, or a DiveNav one, you will need to add a second O-ring. Once the O-rings are in place, you can insert the female connector into the sensor. Push the connector until you hear the latching mechanism securing the 2 connectors. Then place the oxygen sensor in the cavity of the top half of the housing. First, position the back of the sensor, then push in the front. The oxygen sensor should be firm in place. Now you can reassemble the 2 halves and secure them with 3 screws. Time to test the new oxygen sensor. Activate your Nitroxbuddy and connect it to your smartphone. Go to Settings, tap on Nitroxbuddy Sensor, then tap on Monitor. Now, let your Nitroxbuddy alone for about 30 seconds. Then write down the output value. You will need it to program the reference value for this sensor. Go back to Settings and tap on Calibrations. Then tap on Reference Value and enter the output value you just wrote down. We're almost done. One more step. We need to set the oxygen sensor lifetime. Go to the Nitroxbuddy sensor settings. Tap on Oxygen Sensor, then tap on Replace Oxygen Sensor. Then tap on Enter Oxygen Sensor Lifetime and enter value in months. Please check with the manufacturer of the oxygen sensor you're planning to use for its lifetime. The lifetime of our Nitroxbuddy oxygen sensor is 12 months. Since you just replaced the oxygen sensor, make sure you recalibrate your Nitroxbuddy before using it. One more thing. Oxygen sensors contain corrosive materials, so they should be handled carefully and disposed of safely and in accordance with local regulations.